Hi, this is Teacher Jennifer back with Dr. Patricia Hernandez. So today I would like to share our agenda with you. Okay, so let's basically show you the people what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to make some quick comments about a recent video. We're going to do a practice interview. We're going to share some new citizenship resources. I'm going to talk about the 2020 calendar before and after COVID-19. I'm going to talk about the USCIS webinar in Seattle earlier this week, and then also an upcoming webinar with the Migration Policy Institute. We're going to do some immigration news headlines, and then we're going to talk about our response to ICE student and exchange visitor program. So let's get started. Do you have any comments first before we begin, Dr. Hernandez?
Nice to see you this morning. I hope everybody's fine.
Yes, that's great. Okay, so now we're going to go to a news share, and we're going to be taking a look at some comments. This is from last week's video that we did, our openings from week 4. And we have a really great video up here, a comment up here. Thanks, teachers, for all your videos. I passed my test yesterday, and of course, all your team too. Your videos are so helpful. God bless you guys, and I'm ready to vote, which is excellent, excellent news. So,
great.
The question I have for you is, well, I'm so happy for you. When was your original interview scheduled? Because we want to check on the whole process of rescheduling. That's why we're asking these questions. What kind of safety precautions did they take in the office? And did you take your oath of allegiance after you passed the interview, or do you have to go back? Well, I'm so stupid.
One more question is going to be where? In what part of the country? Where was her interview?
Yeah, that's very
helpful to know if it's in what state it's in and what city. That'd be helpful.
Okay, so of course now that I asked this question, of course, if he says that they're ready to vote, then of course he already took the oath ceremony. Okay,
exactly.
So yeah. We would love to hear back from people who did go in for their interview to hear any comments that they have, because the more eyewitness information we get, the better it's going to help other people.
Well, and the better we can help our students, we can better orient them as to what's coming up. So.
Okay, now the question is about rescheduling asylum interviews. Hopefully you're working with the asylum lawyer and they can help you with that. That is a little bit out of our purview. But I will answer that more completely. Now, this one's very important. Thank you so much. This video is very helpful. Can you do more easy to remember definitions on diversion, evasion, deferred, adjudication, perjury, rescission, expunge, excluded, and etc.? So, one of the things that we have is that we need to have the precise number of the question on the N-400. The reason is that some definitions can mean different things in different parts of the N-400. So we're going to take a week, dig a little bit deeper into this so we make sure we have the precise information. Also, if people have other requests for vocabulary that we haven't addressed yet, please send in that information and include the number from the N-400 question.
Right.
That would really help us, and that's going to really help other people as well.
Other students, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So thank you very much for sending that comment. It means that they found our definitions helpful from what we did last week. So
yeah, so that's going to be very, very helpful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stop share. And we're going to go into the practice interview. Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
I'll be your officer today. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Good morning, Miss Gagliardi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Patricia Hernandez. Follow me, and we'll go to my office, and we'll have you put your things in this chair. You're going to follow me. When we get there, put your things in this chair, right? And I need you to raise your right hand. All right? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Okay, you can sit down now. You may put your hand down and you may sit down. Okay, I'd like you to show me your green card, your driver's license, and your passports. If you'll put them out on my desk for me.
Here is my green card.
It's very green. No question about that. Green. I don't know if the picture looks a lot like you, but
it's when I was younger. Okay.
I see.
Okay, that's my green card now. What would you like me to show you? My driver's license?
Yes. Oh,
this is my driver's license. Okay?
And what state is that from?
It's from California. It's from California. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you have any passports? Do you have a passport?
Yes, I do have a passport. This one is my passport right here. It's a nice Italian red, okay?
Excellent. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We're going to go to the civics questions first, and we'll do our dictation, and we're going to do our reading, and at the end, we'll do the application questions, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So first, citizenship question. For how long is the president elected?
The president is elected for 4 years.
Excellent. All right. And what is the Bill of Rights?
The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution.
Excellent. Okay. And what is the capital? You said you're from California. What is the capital of your state?
The capital of California is Sacramento.
Excellent. All right. So far, you've gotten 3 correct. Okay. Who is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court?
The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is John Roberts.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Ready? What is the supreme law of the United States?
The supreme law of the United States is the Constitution.
Excellent. So far, so good. Okay.
I'm so nervous.
Everybody is, so don't worry. Take a deep breath. Don't worry. Right? You're doing wonderfully well. So you're doing fine. We're going to do another question here. Name 2 cabinet level positions.
Secretary of State and Secretary of Labor.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You have gotten the first 6 questions correct.
Yay.
So we can pass you on that. We'll go to the next topic here because you've done very well in the civics questions. With 6 correct, you're fine. Okay. Normally I would hand you the tablet, and you would take the tablet with the stylus and you would write this, right? So the dictation is, Thanksgiving is in November. Thanksgiving is in November.
Okay. So this is my dictation. Can you see it?
Yes. Very nice job.
Thanksgiving is in November.
Excellent. Excellent. And all the spelling is correct? Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
All right. Can you turn the paper around?
Okay.
And will you read it for me?
It says Thanksgiving is in November.
Excellent. So you passed your dictation and you passed the reading. We're now going to go to the application. I'm going to ask you a number of questions from your application.
Thank you.
Right. But excellent job. I congratulate you so far. What is your current legal name?
My current legal name is Ana Maria Margareta Gagliardi.
Excellent. Okay, just as it is here on your application. Do you have, let's see, I'm going to ask you if there are any other names that you've used.
My American name is Jennifer. I love Jennifer Lopez, so I use the name Jennifer many times.
Oh, what a nice choice. Very nice. Very nice.
I love her.
Do you want to change your name?
No, I do not want to change my name.
Okay. All right. And where were you born, Miss?
I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Excellent. And what is your address today? What is your current legal address here?
Okay, I live in 1331 Schaefer Drive, San Jose, California, 95132.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And is it right that you work at Sam's Hair Salon?
No, I worked at Sam's many years ago. Now I'm a para-educator at Milpitas Adult School.
Excellent. And do you have 3 children?
Yes, I have 3 children.
Okay, and tell me their names, please.
The first one is Antonio. The second one is Cara, and the third one is Juanito.
Excellent, excellent. Have you left the United States in the last 5 years?
Yes, every year I go back to Argentina for at least 2 weeks to see my parents.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
We're doing well. Okay. All right. I'm going to move to the yes/no questions. Here we go. Have you ever registered to vote in a federal or local election?
No, I have not registered to vote in the United States. I am registered in Argentina, but not in the United States.
Perfect. Okay. Next question. Have you ever been declared legally incompetent?
No.
Confined to a mental institution?
No, I have no. My husband drives me crazy, but I have never been declared legally incompetent.
Not that far, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have you ever been a member of or involved in or in any way associated with any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, society, or similar group in the United States?
Yes, I'm part of the... Sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a member of the Teachers Union at Milpitas Adult School.
Excellent. I see that here. Very good.
I'm also a member of my church, too.
Excellent. Excellent. I see that, too. Have you ever persecuted, either directly or indirectly, any person because of race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political or opinion?
No, persecution is wrong. I have never persecuted anyone.
All right. And can you explain to me what is persecution?
Persecution.
You say it's wrong, but now I'd like you to tell me what it is.
Persecution is a hate crime. I hate somebody and I hurt someone because they are different from me. I love everybody.
Good.
Yeah,
That's a good policy. That's a good policy. Yes, that's good. Okay. Have you ever... were you ever a member of, or did you ever serve in, help, or otherwise participate in any military unit?
No, I was never a member of the military in Argentina.
How about police? A police unit?
I was not a member of the police.
How about a rebel group?
No, I never fought against the government.
Excellent. Okay, very good. And did you ever sell, give, or provide weapons to any person, or help another person sell, give, or provide weapons to any person?
No, I never sold or gave weapons to another person.
All right. Okay. Have you ever committed, assisted in committing, or attempted to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested?
I have never committed a crime, and I have never been arrested.
All right. Have you ever been charged with committing or assisting in a crime or offense? Have you ever been charged with that?
No, nobody said that I committed a crime. I have never been to court about
Excellent.
that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Have you ever been, let me see, been married to more than one person at the same time?
My husband would kill him. Okay? No. Only one man.
Good policy.
One man is enough.
Have you ever been placed in removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings?
No, I have never been placed in removal or rescission proceedings. So nobody has tried to cancel. If we're talking about rescission, Rescission means they tried to take away my legal status. That has never happened.
Take it back, yeah.
Yeah. Removal is they have never tried to send me back to Argentina.
That's like starting deportation, really.
Yeah. Never.
Right. One last question. Well, in this section here. Have you ever been court-martialed?
No, I was not in the military, so I've never been court-martialed. Court-martial is a trial in the military.
Good. That's what I was just going to ask you. So you did a great job there. Okay. I got a few more questions for you, okay?
Great.
All right. We're almost to the end. Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States?
Absolutely. I support the Constitution and the government of the United States.
And are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
I'm willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States.
Okay. And if the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant service in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yes, I'm willing to work in the United States Armed Forces and not use a weapon. I'm willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Excellent job. Ms. Gagliardi, you seem eminently prepared. I'm going to give you this form. You have passed your interview.
Yay!
Oh, that's it. Congratulations.
Thank you. So my question is, when is my oath ceremony?
In this time, we will do it following this interview.
Wow.
Most of the offices are not calling you in for a second for the oath ceremony. We try and do it following the interview.
Okay, great. So I'm very excited.
Out there, go back out to the waiting room, and then we'll call you for the swearing in.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. You did a great job.
Okay, great. So let's stop that. So now that was a really great practice interview. Do you have any further questions about that?
Do you have any comments about that interview?
No, it was really
try
good.
To be as broad as possible.
Yeah.
Different elements that happen.
A question I do have, a comment I do have, you didn't, although the officer can ask you every question that's on the N-400, usually they try to tailor their questions to your specific case. So for instance, they would ask me about weapons because there are weapons in Argentina, but maybe they wouldn't ask me about communism or things like that. So they do take into account in people's circumstances.
Oh, I don't think, no, Jennifer, I'm going to tell you, I had a student from Venezuela, and he was asked, that was the one who was asked, he wasn't asked to explain communism, he was asked to explain terrorism.
Wow. So, yeah.
I'm not sure that those questions are,
like Argentina, they could ask me about totalitarianism because we did have a history of that in Argentina. So, so you just have to go in and be prepared for that. Okay. So, now what I would like to do is...
And I wanted to go back. I wanted to underscore, you have to be prepared, when you listen to the question, and if it is just like Jennifer did in this moment when I asked her if she was working at Sam's hair salon, right? She needed, just like she needed to say, no, I don't work there anymore. I'm now a paralegal, or I'm working at the school. Every student, every applicant needs to be sure that they're listening to the question and not just be saying yes, 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 because I've had students of my own who've gone to the interview and the officer has asked them every question was incorrect. The officer said, "You have 3 children?" No, the student had 2 children. So he was expected to correct the officer. They did the same thing about where he worked, and what the officer was expecting was that the student correct him. And when the student came, he shared that with the class, because it's not that common, but if you might be lucky enough to get one of those officers who likes to ask the questions that way,
Yeah.
Checking that you're listening. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. I also like to take this opportunity to say hello to all my very distant relatives in Argentina, because my family, when they came from Italy during World War I, they went to Argentina and then Costa Rica, and finally they made it to America.
All right.
So it's a
All right.
very, very long journey for my family. So
Very international, yeah.
yeah, but that's the way many Italian and Hispanic families are. They basically come from another country and they were able to find refuge in South America and Central America. So anyway, let's continue. We're going to go to the slideshow. We're going to go from the current slide, and now we're going to go into talking about the calendar. This was what things were like. We were focused in on the census. The civics means that there was the whole thing about the election coming up and the celebration of the 19th Amendment on August, and that we were looking forward to citizenship, doing the pilots for the new questions, and then we were really concerned about the whole thing about the application fee increases.
And everything's changed now.
Yeah, so COVID-19, I feel like a torpedo has hit our boat. We all got into our lifeboats, made it to shore, and now this is what the calendar looks like again. Of course, in May, we had a lot of the anti-racism protests. In June 4th, the USCIS began office reopenings. And some of those offices are still not open. Like, for instance, during the Seattle webinar, they were talking about Yakima is still not open because it is a hotbed for COVID-19. So there's still some delays on that kind of stuff. July 15th, income tax day. So you guys...
It's next week. Hello, it's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday. So if you need to stop watching this video and take care of your taxes, do it, okay? July, they're doing the USCIS questions pilot. So USCIS is in contact with different schools and community-based organizations to fulfill to get feedback about the questions. July 16th.
I was just going to say, did you say that people who are in session, some schools are in session?
Yes.
But if they're not, that USCIS would be calling? Is that what they'll do?
In this situation, USCIS was supposed to come to each school and basically interview the students face-to-face. However, what they're doing now, they're going to use Google Voice, and it's going to be a phone call, not a video call, but it's going to be, and anytime you have do something with voice only, you're not picking up the face, it's hard to hear, it might be distortion, it's hard to hear, those kind of things. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think USCIS is trying to go for the most fair way and the most reasonable way to administer this pilot. And
Jennifer, yes. Do you think that they will leave a message? Are there a lot of people, if they don't recognize a phone number, they might not pick up the phone?
But USCIS is going to say, hey, we're going to contact you at this date, so at this time. So it's going to be an appointment. The student's going to be expecting it. Maybe if the student wants to get...
Wait, Jennifer, how would the student expect it?
Because the teacher and the student will be making the appointment with USCIS.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Yeah, they're not going to... USCIS is just not going to pick up the phone and start dialing randomly. They got other things to do. So... yeah. They're trying to do things, and they're trying to basically take information. They're not doing an audio recording. They're trying to basically make sure that they are very consistent in the administration of their tests, okay? July 16th, people are going to start knocking on doors and following up. And so that's going to be scary, and we're going to have to talk a little bit about those people coming to our doors and basically asking, hey, why didn't you fulfill your census? August the 3rd, we're hoping there is no furlough, because that's going to really delay everything that's happening with USCIS.
I would guess, yeah.
But, this is something we have to be prepared for. Late August, the Democrats and the Republicans will be having their convention. I don't
I
know
think the Democrats are going to do online a virtual convention, right?
Well, I think it's going to be blended. I think some of them they have to meet face to face, but very select communities. They're going to be really careful. Democrats are going to be super careful. Republicans are going to have a little bit more social stuff happening, but again, people are going to the fact that there's going to be an online component is going to allow greater participation for the population at large and not simply the delegates, okay? September, November, I'm not sure how they're going to conduct this second pilot, but we'll see what happens. October 1st, they were supposed to, the state real ID was supposed to go into effect. That's been pushed out till next year. November the 3rd, the presidential election. There's lots of questions right now swirling around about how people are going to vote. So that's going to be really important. April the 21st, because the census was pushed out, the census is not going to be delivered December the 1st, but it's going to be delivered April the 21st.
It's a good thing, yeah.
We're still waiting for when USCIS will push out the new questions and also the application fees. And plus, if there's the furlough, they're probably going to have a 10% surcharge on those fees.
Well, and they'll push it back even more, in my opinion, if they had the furlough.
One thing
to accomplish these.
I'm embarrassed to notice this, that August and late August, it's going to be the celebration of the 100th year of the 19th Amendment. So there's lots of things that's coming out.
There's already begun to do programs on television. So really interesting. Yeah,
I'm going to talk about the one on PBS right now.
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Let me move this over. Okay, so on July the 9th, I participated in a webinar with Seattle, the Seattle District 41. And here is a group they're administrating the oath outside in their courtyard in front of the USCIS. Everybody's 6 feet apart, and they're taking their oath of allegiance. Everybody's wearing masks, and so it's open air, dining.
Jennifer, these three people had their interviews before?
Earlier in the day.
The same day, but before? Or
so they had the interview early in the day, now they're taking their oath.
And then they go outside and do this. Yes, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So some of the things that came up, there's several really important points. Let me move this out of the way. Because of the time constraints due to the pandemic shutdown, USCIS is short scheduling. Now, what do you mean by short scheduling? They're scheduling an appointment 2 weeks out instead of 6 weeks. It's 2 weeks. And they're contacting the applicant via the phone. So make sure your phone you're watching for those conversations. And a lot of times when USCIS or the government calls, the phone number is not going to be listed. So that's something to be aware of, or it's going to say number unavailable.
And I'm just we need to remind our students that as part of the application on page 3, they asked you for a phone number. I personally went and advised all of my students who are waiting for their interview. I have 3. I called them and I just said, remember, you need to be attentive to your phone because they might leave a message on your phone rather than sending you the letter.
I don't know.
Letter.
Well, of course they're going to send the letter. I don't know if they'll leave a message on the phone because, like, when my doctor calls, they can't leave a message. They simply say, "Hey, call us." And a lot of people are saying, "Hey, I know that USCIS does things through mail or email if I sign up." So just use caution because I think people might use this as an opportunity to trick people. But please watch out for USCIS. Okay, because Seattle and Yakima were considered COVID-19 hotspots, a lot of these applicants were interviewed in Portland, which is a state away. So now
how many miles? Can you tell, Jennifer, how many miles was that? What would you guess?
Well, 100? Seattle is kind of close to the upper Oregon border, and then they have to go all the way into Portland. They had to go pretty far. They had to go a couple, maybe it's 6 hours. I don't know about the drive.
Yeah.
but it was inconvenient, but now they're coming back to their home field offices to taking the oath.
Nice.
So that's something, and they realized it was inconvenient, but they wanted to preserve the health of of the people.
For everybody, the applicant as well as for the employees. Yeah.
Yes. Now this one, we have to really go through this very slowly. So USCIS normally follows a very strict chronological protocol. So the first application that comes in, the first application is called, okay, or processed. So the Seattle office closed either March 3rd or March 4th. I wasn't clear about that. USCIS used the closure time mid-March to June 4th to resolve old cases which required further evidence or action.
So you remember that USCIS said to us, they didn't close down, they didn't have any public hearings, they never had any public interviews, but they were able to continue, and that's what they were doing, is gathering the evidence that you have here, that if what you're saying is that people were interviewed and they were asked, it was requested of them that they send further evidence.
No. Okay,
right?
these people were interviewed before March 3rd.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, but there was problems with they needed more evidence. So during this time, during the shutdown,
to the oath. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. During the shutdown, there was basically they were gathering more information and processing the cases. So they
and I've had students where, for example, they had been arrested, so it appeared on their fingerprints, right? But the charges had been dismissed.
Okay.
Right? And so when they asked about it, they couldn't approve them for the oath ceremony until they had proof that the charges had really been dismissed. Because when we look at the fingerprints, when they get the report, all they get is that the person was fingerprinted, but they don't know the outcome of the case.
Right.
So I remember that student came back, and we communicated with the police department, and they sent us a copy of the police report, and then we forward that on. And that's what they would have been doing. The student would have forwarded on to USCIS. They would see that, yes, indeed, the charges were dismissed, and then they would proceed to get them ready for the oath, that put them in line for the ceremony.
Yeah, so USCIS started calling these older cases back first for their interviews and oath ceremonies. Some lawyers, however, during the webinar reported that some of their N-400 applicants with appointments originally scheduled for March 3rd or 4th had not been scheduled for their interview yet. They reported that the newer applications were being called in for their interviews. So what USCIS is going to do is they're going to investigate, and during this time, please do not contact USCIS. Why? They're not trying to shut y'all down. They're trying to basically use their energy to figure out what happened and then immediately call those people back. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to fix the problem instead of answering every little question that comes in. So that's what they're trying to do. Okay, let's continue further. Okay, we're going to get to some news, and some of the news this week was not good, okay? So let's take a look at this. So one of the good things this week was, let me see if I can move this a little bit out of the way, was PBS started streaming The Vote, and which is all about the 19th Amendment. And
I saw it. It was marvelous. It was wonderful. Yeah.
You can stream it right now. So if you go to pbs.com, you can basically watch the whole thing online. Also, here I have some bit.lys that are simple ways to access this information. One of I know a little bit later I'm going to be talking about VOA and some of the concerns I have about VOA, but the new U.S. citizens were sworn in at a Los Angeles drive-through oath ceremony. So that was really interesting to watch this video about the process they had about bringing people into the parking lot and how some of the applicants had imagined something totally different. And yet here they were doing the oath in their car. But the thing is that they were still crazy happy to be American citizens. So seeing those kind of videos are just really, really beautiful. Now, now we're going to get to some of the hard stuff, okay? So there's a report about how the pandemic will affect this year's elections. This one was just absolutely heartbreaking for me to hear because especially in the United up in Silicon Valley, you have a lot of Indian engineers. Well, not everybody went to engineering school in India. So lots of people Indians actually go to Mexico or Central America and then try to come over the Mexico-United States border, and they get stopped. So it's really, really difficult to read this article was really a powerful, or to see,
not
listen to this was very powerful.
Folks are really hard on the border at this point.
Yeah. And plus, they're in a country where they don't understand the language, too. And they don't have access to any of the infrastructure. New York Times, this video was just so difficult for me to personally watch, was how ICE helped spread the coronavirus. So they're basically gathering the people that they've caught in raids. They get sick while they're in detention, and basically they're deported to the other countries. The other countries try to resist.
And they take the germs with them. Oh, no, they go and infect the other country, too.
Yeah, and, you know, some of these countries do not have the same
infrastructure,
medical infrastructure to take care of it. So that's really hard to see this. Yeah. This one absolutely made me sick, was foreign journalists working for U.S. government broadcasters. Now, who are those? Those are the people who work for VOA News, okay, or Radio Free Europe or Radio Free Asia. Those people might lose their visas. So they're being reviewed, and perhaps they will be denied. And I really look to VOA for the best possible news for my ESL students and citizenship students about what's happening in the United States and how we export one of our greatest aspects is exporting American English and American culture to other countries, and being a role model for press freedom and for freedom of speech. And then to see this is just absolutely heartbreaking. So I'm really questioned the whole thing about the role of VOA in my classroom, and I suggest other adult educators look at VOA a little bit more critically, and if we could basically apply pressure to the administration to basically advocate for press freedom for VOA, I would really appreciate that. Again, here we have, this one was from late June about who's affected by the U.S. visa ban. And then new rules. Foreign students must leave the U.S. if classes go online.
This was Monday. This was.
Yeah. This was horrible.
Yes,
horrible.
This is overwhelmingly difficult.
Yeah, a lot of our a lot of our community colleges were really hard hit. A lot of our foreign students
would have been hard hit. Yes.
Yeah, so we have foreign students in those community colleges, but the community colleges, the first semester, hey, it's all online. Well, if it's online, ICE is saying that these students have to go home. These foreign students have to go home, or international students have to go home. So our main organization, TESOL, which is Teachers of English as a Second Language, and CATESOL, California Teachers of English as a Second Language, they basically have made a statement that F1 visa students being forced to leave the U.S. if their university conducts classes remotely online will cause harm to the learners, our programs, the federal and state economy. So here in this paragraph, they're talking about how much money they contribute to the economy, exactly. $41 billion. Woo! And how many?
We're already in a depression. We don't need to lose more.
And almost 500,000 jobs to the U.S. economy. Yeah. And then even in California, that's like $7 billion and almost 75,000 jobs. You know, I know as when I teach at community college, I definitely have F1 students, visa students in those classrooms. So they're basically saying that many of our university departments and private language schools will close. And we to tell people that they're not welcome in the United States during this time. They can't continue their studies. their economic and intangible contributions. So what do we mean by intangible contributions? Every student in a classroom contributes to the community in that classroom. Students learn much more from each other than they learn from the teacher. So that's the kind of thing that our students are going to lose. You deport those international students, that's going to really hurt our students that are here. So we're trying to urge the SEVP, which is the ICE Student and Exchange Visitor Program. We're trying to ask them to reconsider that. And also, this is how you access your representatives. So what can we do as people who are applying for citizenship? Well, here's an example. Number one, we can send a postcard to the president. So we could say, and get your phones out and take pictures of this, okay? So you can simply say up here, I support international students. Let them stay and study in the United States. Now, who are you going to send this to? Send it to Trump, okay? Or to President Trump, because it was at his direction that ICE was taking on this new rule.
Exactly.
So you send it to the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C.
It's a very simple message.
Very, very simple.
Easily understood by anyone. Any of our students would understand that they support international students and they want them to be able to stay and study in the United States.
And it's really good to send your postcard, putting in especially your zip code, because they want to see what parts of the America are really upset about this, and how much does it cost? 35 cents. That's it. You can put any stamp on there, but it has to be at least 35 cents. Also, you can send an email through this contact form. Let's talk about contacting your senator. Do you want to read this one?
Of course. So if you're from California, Senator Dianne Feinstein is one of our senators. We could say, let international students already in the United States on F1 visas continue their college studies by taking online courses, right? We're getting to you're saying exactly that you want them to stay and they need to continue. You can't send them back to their country and interrupt all their studies, Yeah,
super, super important. And notice it's a single sentence. I mean, there's a couple phrases in there, but again, it's very simple. We know we're talking about F1 visa students, and we know we want them to keep in the United States. So that's the Senate.
Use your phone and take a picture so that way you can copy the message. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go to the third example. So this is the third example. Would you like to read this one?
The other one was to the senator, because we have 2 senators from every state, but we also have representatives from the House of Representatives, and in this case, it's Representative Ro Khanna, right? And we said to him, we need online classes to keep teachers and students safe. International students must stay and study. We are stronger together. Excellent. But we are underscoring that we can't go back to school. We have to be able to have access to online classes to keep everyone safe, the students and the teachers and international students too. Yes.
Yeah, very good. So let's take a look. Make sure that we got, one point that I forgot. Let's see if I need to do a new share. New share, we have this one from one of my very favorite places and yours. Would you like to talk about this one?
Yeah. It turns out that the Migration Policy Institute has organized a webinar for this coming Thursday. And it's not so much for our students, but the teachers it should be of interest to teachers and people who help students, right? It's on Thursday, it's back east. So if you're in California, it's at 8:30 in the morning. Let's see. And right now you're in Illinois. Is that right? Where are you, Jennifer?
Chicago. I'm in Chicago.
Okay. So Chicago, Illinois. So yours would be at 10:30, right? But they will be talking about a survey of changing USCIS practices due to COVID, right? That's the whole point. Jennifer and I try and share with you the changes that we know about. But the focus of the webinar will be looking at the United States as a whole and seeing how other people, other offices within the United States have had to adjust and make changes because of COVID, and still trying to continue with their job, with interviewing, doing citizenship interviews and swearing in new citizens.
Also, Migration Policy Institute has a really excellent podcast, and there's some other really good podcasts out there that talk about explanation, like Only in America with, I'm sorry I forget his first name, but Noorani. Mr. Noorani is really, really good. So there's some great content, and I really basically I'm asking you to basically try to learn as much as you can and advocate not only for yourself and your community, but for the immigrant community at large in the United States, because we're stronger together. Putting us in little boxes is not going to help.
Right. So. And Jennifer and I have registered, and we will certainly report next week on what they've told us. So we will be happy to share the information too.
Oh, okay. So now we need to step back, and we're going to close by saying that we want people to stay home, stay healthy, and stay strong.
Stay strong. Yeah.
Stay strong. So how are you staying strong at home?
Oh, I'm doing an early morning walk. But the rest of the day I'm home. That's what I need to do. That's what we all need to do, so that we don't make more cases of COVID-19.
Yeah. I've been really trying to, I've been spending a lot of time online trying to teach, and I know you've been teaching too, and staying connecting with your students or your faculty members, and then going to webinars about how to upgrade your technical skills is really important.
And help us and give us good ideas for how to, it looks like we're going to do online teaching again. So it gives us more ideas about how to make online teaching interesting for students.
Yeah, and then also for me, like trying to go to daily mass online and trying to attend to my spirituality has been very super important to me. Otherwise, I would just be mean all the time and wouldn't sleep.
Go to mass.
So anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. This was really great, and hopefully everything will get better really soon. And I'll see you next week, and we'll take a look at those definitions. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.